Paltrocast.
As of the other day, Irish Viking is no more.
I was going to ask that because I saw that the Instagram had magically disappeared. But either way, we will now look for the new coupon code to buy all that stuff from you. Is that going to be Tyler 15?
No, so I transformed that social media page into something a little bit more meaningful because this whole experience from the show changed a lot in me, and it made me think like I need to do something a little bit more meaningful with my life and with my social media, because I have over 120,000 followers, and I was thinking, how can I use this for good versus personal gain? And so I'm dedicating that page and possibly a YouTube channel, depending on the type of attraction that it gets. Because right now it's called Heather and Tyler Off Grid, and because I left the city, like I literally moving today into the mountains.
Wow. Okay. So that's quite a transition, because there's life before this TV show. Then there was the TV show where you're kind of remote, but you have the cameras in your face. And then now you're doing all the media for international outlets, and your story is going to be on television. So you went from anonymous to super anonymous to famous pretty quickly.
I don't know if those are the words that I'd be using, but yeah, hopefully the attraction that we get from this, we'll put it to good use versus like making memes and making people laugh with Viking videos and silly things like that.
Got it. So was it a pleasurable experience filming this show for Discovery?
Oh, pleasurable. I don't know if that's the right word. I think it was one of the most unique experiences in my life, because I have learned to appreciate unique experiences and things that will give me memories, and I'd rather spend my money buying memories versus like, let's go travel, let's go to this place over here, let's go to this place over there, versus like I want a new car. No, how about we just get a lower end car and take that money and go to, like, I'm going to go do circus training in Thailand for 2 weeks with my wife. And we can do that because we don't spend it on frivolous things. We want to have stories to tell later on in life, because cars fade away, memories don't.
Before all this, of course, you're a veteran. Thank you for your service. Did that help prepare you for this chapter of your life?
Being a veteran, did that prepare me? It prepared me to be very, very resilient. So anything that comes my way, I know that I can stand the heat. Nothing really bothers me. There's no time in my life. In the show, I get, if I ever get knocked down, I know how to stand back up again, because I've done it over and over and over again. And I contribute that to being in the military, because in the infantry, anybody that's ever been in the infantry knows it's just one giant process of being tore down and then built back up, and then have that rinse and repeat. So I have a decade of resiliency training, that I like to call it.
Right. So many of the things that you do require immediate attention and reaction to things, but how do you unwind?
Honestly, one of the reasons why I'm up here in the mountains now, doing absolutely nothing in nature. That is one of the most healing things that I got to experience. Especially, I learned very quickly, true happiness comes being content with the least amount of things versus finding happiness in buying something off of Amazon. Because we all I feel like there's a large culture of like people buying things online just for that dopamine hit, or people playing video games. They find they have these addictions to have this fix in their heads, and in reality is they need to get away from all of that and submerge themselves in nature, and just let themselves live how they're supposed to be living naturally. And I think between food, lack of movement and exercise, and standing in front of a screen all day long is just
like
poisons. Yeah, just like this. And it has poisoned our minds to the point where we are so sick and depressed, and we just, life sucks. In reality, it doesn't take much to be happy. You just got to put yourself in the right environment. And weirdly enough, being on a commune did that for me.
So one of the ways that they describe you in the press materials, they call you a doomsday prepper. Do you like
Absolutely.
that term?
A lot of preppers don't necessarily like that because of what the History Channel did. The show they made people like myself look crazy. And they just interviewed a bunch of people that were crazy and then put them on TV. I'm more of a practical person. Like,
Mhm.
sure, I know nuclear, especially in today's age. That's a real possibility. So if you're prepared for that, you're prepared for the little things that the most likely things that will happen, like power outages, because we had 2 feet of snow, or a fire happens.
Mhm.
But if you're prepared for the worst, you're definitely prepared for the most likely scenario.
Well, two quick questions and then I'll let you go. And the first one is for somebody who's interested in becoming a more prepared person or a prepper rather than a doomsday prepper, is there a good first step that you could recommend?
Yeah, just you got to ask yourself, what do I need if in order to survive? You need food, water, shelter, right? And so I would say get yourself a water filter. I'm not going to say any name brands unless they want to sponsor me. But get yourself a good reliable water filter. And then I create food buckets every single month. It consists of rice, beans, salt, sugar, and sometimes even peanut butter.
Wow.
And with the exception of peanut butter, I'll even put sugar. Did I say sugar?
You did, and you did now.
Okay. Besides the peanut butter, all those items will last 25 plus years inside of a food grade bucket. And then if you vacuum seal them in a Mylar bag, it's basically indefinite, I would say. If you keep it in a cool, dark place, out of the sunlight, you open it up 30 years later, it's going to be just as good as when you put it in there.
The
So
last thing
that's
I
where I
want
would start.
Okay, that's fantastic. And the last thing I want to know, which is a compliment of sorts, is a lot of people who are preppers are not as business savvy as you are. So, where did all of that come from? How did you know about making an online presence and having coupon codes and all that kind of stuff?
Well, I grew up very, very, very poor. And I told myself I am not going to be poor when I get older. My mother, my father has struggled with bills and all that crap. And I said, that is not going to be me. Um, so I took all this time and energy that I have and I utilize my time. That's the if people want to make money and they want to be successful, is to start really utilizing your time. Start asking yourself, what can I do to improve my life? Do I like my life? No. Okay. What don't I like about my life? I hate my job. Okay. What are you going to do to change that? And it's like, well, how can I? Like, I work 8 hours a day and then I have a family and I have no time. I call bullshit on that, because we have to all, whether if you're a billionaire or a homeless person, we all have 24 hours. You sleep. And a lot of entrepreneurs, they say you need to sleep less. I say that's a bunch of crap, because that's bad for your mental health. Sleep 8 hours, you work 8 hours. What are you doing with the other 8 hours of your day? Utilize that time to improve your life. And then it's like, well, I work 15 hours and all this crap, whatever excuse you can come up with. I was like, okay, what are you doing with your weekends? It's like, well, I need a break. It's like, well, you don't want to change your life bad enough then. Utilize the weekend to create the life that you want and not to escape the life that you have. Look forward to Monday,
Mhm.
because that's how you live. Like, don't work for the weekend. Like that whole song, like that's crap.
So,
Like
Tyler is not a Loverboy fan. That is the biggest takeaway of this whole interview, besides The Garden Commune Or
Great,
Cult.
great song. Great song. Shitty philosophy. Like, yeah, you should be looking forward to Mondays, not, hating Mondays. Like, that's such a miserable way to live.
Well,
And like,
Garfield didn't like Mondays, but we still love Garfield.
true. But I promise people are going to be much happier if they can find a job that they can get paid for and they absolutely love and they're passionate about, and they want the weekend to get over because they want money to happen. And like for me, like I'm like a lot of people don't know, I wrote a post-apocalyptic fiction during COVID. Like I couldn't work anymore, so I was like, what can I do with my time? I can either cry about it or I can do something. So I did something. I wrote a novel. And that's coming out this year, or actually it's coming out February of 2024. Stated Contempt, Rune Nation. It's a post-apocalyptic fiction, of course. And if you want to know a little bit more about my history, because that book is full of actual real people, I'm very, very proud of it. I didn't take the shortcut route of a lot of people want to make money off of novels, so they write 60,000 words and they just send it out. So that way they have to write another one. The next thing you know, they have 8 really short books in one series. This thing is 120,000 words. It's I'm very, very proud of it because a lot of people want to write a book, but they don't have the time or effort or the patience to actually finish it through.
Agreed. My book, for the record, has 93,000 words. That's coming out in January. So
congratulations.
Methodology is correct there. Don't do the 60,000. But anyway, Tyler, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on the Garden Commune Or Cult. Congratulations in advance on that book.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to that. And I think you have a few TED Talks in your future whenever you're ready for that.
I'm down. Let's do it.
Paltrocast.